The Mehak Bukhari murder case, trial day 42. From Leicester Crown Court. Some viewers may find scenes that are distressing. Viewer discretion is advised. True crime and breaking news. The best 1 minute and under news channel on TikTok. TikTok star Mehak Bukhari did nothing wrong on the night of the alleged murder of two friends on the A46, her barrister has told the jury in her trial. Christopher Millington KC was summing up the defense case for the 23-year-old ex-social media celebrity. He told the jury at Leicester Crown Court that all his client had done was arrange some support for a late-night meeting with an erratic blackmailer after his sheer persistence led her to agree to a meeting at Tesco in Hamilton, Leicester. He added that she did not encourage her co-defendants to pursue the two crash victims, Saqib Hussain and Hashim Ejazudin, after they fled from the supermarket, nor at any time before their Skoda hit the central reservation, killing them both. Mr. Millington described how Saqib, who was 21 when he died at about 1:30 a.m. on Friday, February 11, 2022, had been making threats and left Mehak and her mother and co-defendant, Ansreen, feeling threatened. He said, at the end of a long day of incessant harassment, intimidation, and threats, to come to the family home in Stoke, Saqib Hussain got what he wanted more than money, a meeting with Ansreen. He had broken down their will to ignore him by sheer persistence. He forced them out of the security of their home by threatening to come with his mates. He had told them he was on his way to their home. Two women are summoned to a meeting late at night with an erratic and unpredictable blackmailer who is likely to come with his mates. They took account of those threats and that behavior in arranging for co-defendants in the case Rikan Karwan and Raiz Jamal to go with them as support in case Saqib turned nasty and resorted to violence. Mr. Millington also downplayed the role of the other passengers in the two cars which followed the Skoda up the A46. He said, any other defendant who attended that night did so because they happened to be with Raiz Jamal that night, and all of them were strangers to Mehak and Ansreen. Mehak took no weapons. There was no time for planning, just arranging support. Ansreen and Mehak had been forced by Saqib to comply with his demands for a meeting, for a talk. They went no further than that. By the time Saqib and Hashim arrived at the Tesco car park. But Saqib got spooked, and he spotted that support. Realizing he could no longer call the shots, he departed. He said that Mehak played no part whatsoever in what happened on the A46 apart from asking Rikan to slow down so that her car did not get damaged. He said, judged fairly, and leaving emotion to one side, Mehak did not act unlawfully and is not guilty of the charges of murder or manslaughter. Next, Ansreen Bukhari's barrister Patrick Upward KC started his closing speech and told the court that Saqib was a liar and a deceiver who became a predator. Mehak Bukhari and 7 others, including her mother Ansreen Bukhari, are accused of killing Saqib and his friend Hashim. But 47-year-old Ansreen's barrister has now claimed she was actually a victim of stalking and not a murderer. It comes after Leicester Crown Court heard how Saqib reportedly threatened to reveal his 3-year affair with Ansreen after their relationship came to an end. Patrick Upward KC, defending Ansreen, drew the jury's attention to Saqib's predatory treatment of his former lover who was about 25 years older than him. Mr. Upward said, from the beginning to the end of this affair, this young man was a wrong-un. He was a liar and a deceiver. Ansreen was obedient and vulnerable to 21-year-old Saqib, he claimed. By comparison, Saqib was a cunning, manipulative, and cruel young man who became a predator. The barrister told jurors he did not expect them to excuse Ansreen's affair, but asked them to try to understand. She had lived a sheltered life, but this changed when she started traveling around the country with daughter Mehak for her influencer work. He said, she was married to a man she loved and was happy. All that changed when she and her husband made that decision for her to accompany their daughter. It must have been a revelation, and she found herself mixing with people, many of them half her age. While Ansreen might be seen to have a motive, as Saqib was blackmailing her, there was no evidence she plotted to murder him, Mr. Upward said. He said, where is the evidence that she was party to a plan to kill or seriously injure Saqib Hussain? Jurors also heard how CCTV clips of Ansreen walking around Leicester after the fatal crash with 6 of her co-defendants showed a woman in shock, horrified by what had happened to a young man who, in past times, she had been close. Mr. Upward added, we're not sitting in a court of morals. This is a court of law. Ansreen Bukhari's behavior may have appalled you. None of this makes her a murderer. None of this makes her guilty of manslaughter. The prosecution say the 8 defendants who deny murder tried to ambush Saqib. He was being driven by his friend Hashim on Friday, February 11 last year. They are said to have chased the crash victims in 2 vehicles and rammed them off the A46, killing them instantly. The case will continue on Monday, and we will bring you the latest every day from Leicester Crown Court. Thank you. The court has been adjourned for today. We will be back tomorrow. Please join us then.
Thanks for watching our channel. Please share,